Welcome back to Bonding. We haven't done an episode since last year.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Troy Bond, with co-host Torey Cole.
Hey guys.
Fresh off the presses. How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's new in your life?
Oh, golly. Gee,
I haven't even
Willikers.
seen you like we usually see.
I know.
I've been touring. You've been at the methadone clinic.
Yeah, I should be in one. Locked away.
What's new with you?
I know. I mean, we haven't talked to the people since Halloween, I want to say.
No, we did one when I cut my nose.
Yes.
When I was trying to get back in the swing of things.
Yes.
But it's hard to keep up a routine when you could barely keep your face from bleeding.
Totally. Routines are hard, and especially when you travel so much.
Yeah, and that does mean I travel a lot. That's a fucking joke.
Is it?
Yeah. It was until you questioned it. I guess that's anything, though. Give me the headline to your life.
Headline to my life. Oh, boy.
Don't make it boring.
Well.
Try to make filling up a blanket filled with farts as exciting as you possibly can.
I mean, I love a Dutch oven, but yeah, let's see. Headline of my life.
Why do they call it a Dutch oven?
I don't know, but it makes the real ones seem gross. Like if someone making me bread in a Dutch oven, I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that'd be.
But that's how you make bread.
In a Dutch oven or by farting on it?
Farting on it.
You're like, that's the yeast of my concerns.
Ooh, but
Do you know how to make bread?
Yeah, I made it during the pandemic when everyone else was doing it.
Then why you walk around with holes in your socks? Torey Cole, not serious about her bread. You walked right into
I
that
ate
one.
the whole loaf, and then I told myself I could never make
Was it
bread.
good bread?
Oh, it was so good. Fresh bread is really something else.
I've had fresh bread, but never good fresh bread that I made. I remember like home economics in like 7th grade. We made pretzels, and they came out looking like albino ET shits. I still ate them. You could taste like the not cooked stuff and the salt inside.
Yeah.
Miss Raymond gave me a fucking D-. At that point, just failed me, you Roz from Monsters Inc. looking bitch.
I think anything made at
I feel
in a
bad. Maybe her
school
kids listen to
classroom,
this.
Nah.
But she gave me a D and my dad beat my ass, and I never forgot that. He's like, how do you fail home ec? I was like, wouldn't you be more ashamed of me if I passed home ec?
Right? You're like,
Why'd you
I'm
put
not
me on the
gay.
football team here? Right? Like, I still had to make his dinner that night.
Damn.
Well, what's going on in your life? Sorry to give you a trauma.
No, I like that. Headline of my life. Let's see. I mean, currently, what's fresh on the mind is, because I'm a little hungover, is just my drinking. I need to get that figured out. I've been drinking a little too much. I've been going out a lot. I had a good comedy.
Are you trying to fill a hole?
That's a great question.
That's why I asked.
I love the therapy. Therapy, gotta do the
If
therapy.
I'm your therapist, then take the whole bottle right now, because I ain't gonna help you. I just like asking questions as if I feign it. I mean, with you, I ask the question and I mean it, but with a lot of other people, I don't have the capacity to emotionally invest, so I ask an open-ended question like that and just hope that they'll talk for long enough where I can rehearse them.
You're good at that. You're really
I'm
good
a
at
bad
that.
bullshit artist.
My favorite is when we walk into a club and you like just like schmooze up the manager and you seem like you like want to be their best friend. They walk away and I'm like, what's their name? And you're like, I don't know. I didn't listen to a word they said.
Well, I think it's more about, I think they call it aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta have an aura of walking in, because when you're a comedian, you're sort of the life of the party, and you gotta
That's
walk
true.
in, and people have to like associate your name with like fun. I
You
don't
do
want to like
that.
be an ass.
You come in with jazz hands.
I do. I'm like, ladies, who's ready to find out why the chicken crossed the road? He saw a cock across the street. Gobble, gobble. That's a turkey. Anyway, tell me about your life. What hole are you trying to fill? Because I got one I want to fill myself.
That's a really good question, and I'm glad you asked. I think that's something I need to find out. And I think something that maybe I could use in my life is stability. And maybe I don't really have that at the moment, and that's why I don't know.
Where would the stability come in handy? Like, do you need like a routine? Do you need I need
a routine. I need it like with everything, like fitness, my day job, working out, or my comedy. It's like with comedy, I'm like, just like, I feel like I'm on a treadmill, I'm on a hamster wheel. And I would like that next thing to kind of be like, hey, you're doing a good job, you know?
When do you think that comes into play?
When?
Yeah. How does that come into play?
I got to get shameless online. Just post.
I think you already are. I mean, I was with you when we were in Nyack, and I watched the spiral to clip pipeline happen, and that didn't seem to solve a lot of problems.
I ripped out like 15 clips after that, and they all bombed, and I was like, I'm done.
I know. And so I'm thinking maybe getting back into that pattern Might not help.
You know what's really funny is that with all those clips, I was like, it's the fucking presence in the background. Even though you were like, if you're worried about what's behind you, then you're not a good comedian. And here I am being like, these aren't evergreen. I have to post them now. And they were all so bad. And I was just like, I love you because you were so real with me. I was like, it's not the presence, but I'm going to tell myself that.
No, like I have like 3 shows that I did in San Diego on holiday weekend, and I'm in costume for all of them, and I still might post those clips because like
you're also Troy Bond and I'm Torey Cole.
What's the difference? What's that to have to do with it? I was once
that
Torey
was
Cole.
Negative. That was not. But I didn't mean it like that. I also like saying our names together where it's a duo, but like
you gotta pay for
you
that.
could post your shit. You could take a photo of the big poop and they would love it. They'd be like, post it again, more photos. Whereas like if I do that, I'm like, ew, everyone's like, gross. You know what I mean? Like,
nah, there's people who would be into
feel
that.
like
They'd be
you
like,
just-
oh, Tori's in a scat now. You need a whole new base of followers. It's not the kind that you would want to come to a comedy show per se.
Yeah.
But they'll be following you. It just
Well,
depends on whatever you put out there is what
currently,
you're gonna get back.
You have a touch. You've got the.
I am touched.
You're touched.
I think it's called the tism.
So I don't know. Again, back to the stability thing. I just think I need something in my life to feel like it's like, oh, this is working. But
Do you know what that something is?
I think it's
because
maybe
goals
getting a little. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
need to be specific.
You're right. Smart
make
goals.
them happen.
Smart goals.
Not even smart, just specific. Like you can say, you know, your dream is to make it in comedy, but unless you have like a narrowed in, honed, exact focal point of where you want that to end up, you know, like I want to be a club comic. Then you know where you're gonna end up at the end of that line.
Well,
so like stability is like I want to have a routine every morning, whether that could entail like getting up, going to the gym, then coming back, having a little you time before work. You know, like what would you say, like a specific one thing you could start tomorrow?
Definitely a routine with working out. I need to like plan my workouts for the week ahead. That's good. I run on Tuesday mornings at a workout class.
Yeah.
So that's been in my routine. Maybe telling myself I have to post twice a week. And then
Despite what your followers have been saying.
despite the numbers, and believe in myself. I think I might be like a little rattled right now, and I need to remember that.
All right. So what I'm hearing is we start with workouts.
Yeah.
We start with hitting that goal.
Like, yeah.
Because like measuring success is like, or even progress is like, what tangible thing can I hold on to and say I did that at least?
So
like,
true.
I've been like, a hard thing for me is waking up in mornings because I work nights, but I've been forcing myself to get up at 8 a.m. Every day because that 9:30 felt too late. I wasn't ever going to get up at 7 a.m. I vowed that after I graduated high school.
Yeah.
And
how do we do that?
Tinier bodies,
I guess.
younger bodies, youthful bodies. Like now I hit my knee 3 weeks ago and like I'm 29. If I hit this next year, it would have just been like this forever. I was really trying not to talk through that burp.
That was fun.
It was
That's
like
good.
the nutty professor was trying to come out of me and then it just mouth queefed.
Let it rip.
I think if you Monday through Friday, we're working out every day this week, and come Saturday morning and be like, I worked out 5 days this
You're
week. 'Cause
right.
It takes 28 days to start a habit. They
Yep,
say, right?
That's
like,
what they say. They
or
say
10
that.
weeks to get habits like ingrained in you.
10,000 hours.
Yeah. Ask who's that? Malcolm Gladwell? I don't like
Tim
that guy.
Ferriss.
Tim Ferriss? That don't sound like a real person.
It is.
Tim Ferriss? Oh yeah, does he work with John Gleeblehorn?
I think he wrote.
And they do the
Power of
Spigoven
Habit.
technique. They wrote Power of Habit is a curious thing.
Whatever. I'm rereading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck right now to remember to not give a fuck. Or you have to give the right amount of fucks to the right things.
There was one that ended with fuck that I read. I think it was called How to Fuck. No. It was called, I don't know. My problem. That's my problem with these self-help books is like
I love them.
I know, and that's where we get. That's where the waters get muddy. Because like I'm looking at it, and I'm like, every part of my body wants to look at self-help like this is some kind of snake oil being sold to me, even though it is not, and it helps a lot of people. And I think the power of positive thinking is something that's really real, and it's also just not practiced in our culture because when there's no benefit in an American capitalist society to an enlightened, free, self-loving mind.
So true.
You know, like you have
The
to
economy runs on us hating ourselves, like Ozempic, for example.
Yeah, that's capitalism.
Yeah.
Everything runs on consumption and comparison, and you'll feel like shit if you don't have what the next person has.
Yeah. How do we break out of that?
We had our opportunity 2 elections ago. It's never going to happen. We're never going to break out of a capitalist society. I hope people are getting used to a foreign takeover of a government by Elon, because that's just what the world is now. It's just billionaires buying the presidency, and no one's going to do anything about it. And I think Luigi shot the wrong guy.
Ooh, hot.
Accurate.
That's good. We need another Luigi.
I didn't say it. I just think he shot the wrong guy. Or, you know, I watched a doc about Luigi, the one on HBO yesterday, and I didn't realize he had like Lyme disease, or he contracted Lyme disease. He was like 13, 14, and
Get a lot.
his mind like started to degrade from the fog and everything.
Yeah.
And it's got to be such a crazy thing to like, he's a fit dude and he's healthy and he comes from this very affluent household, but he couldn't get his mind right, and
his back too.
His back from the surfing accident. And I've always felt bad for him and his family from a cognitive decline standpoint, like especially when I found out he went dark and nobody really knew who he was. And imagine being someone who loved him and seeing him pop up in the news, be like, oh my God, that's him. I can't believe it. But the more there's so much hate against billionaires right now, and I think all of it is justified. I've not heard a single good case for why we need billionaires. I haven't heard one.
Yeah, that's too much money for one person.
Yeah.
Billion, yeah.
I think $1 million is like the new 401k.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like the most a person should have in their life.
Buy a house for $1 million anymore.
How much are houses?
Like $1 million starting.
I'm gonna just live in this apartment for the rest of my life.
I will too. I mean, anytime I start to look, like I looked at studios to buy, just to like mess around, just to see. You need $700,000, and then you're still paying a monthly maintenance fee for like the building, and it's like $1,000. I'm like, I'd rather just pay rent. Yeah,
I was thinking about this the other day of like, I have a lot of young dudes come out and watch my shows now because a lot of them are secret fans. Mm-hmm. Because what?
You're their mentor. Their fearless leader.
No. But I was thinking about like who was the leader of misguided young dudes, and there's like sort of a crisis with people in our generation, and it makes young men the problem because people in our generation are we don't have money. We're not buying homes. We don't have the college to house to kid pipeline that we used to anymore. And society was sort of built around your worth is equated to how many kids and how much money you have and your income every year. And if you don't have any of that by the end of the year, it's that comparison thing again, where like you're sitting in your studio apartment chasing a dream that like nobody you know would ever chase. But then when you go home, like, what do you have? Nothing. And then you're looking at, I mean, like, in comparison, you're sitting in a cold-ass apartment. I'm saying this for both of us. You have more nothing than I do. But we all have nothing. And we're just going on Instagram, and we're seeing people have kids and a dog, and they get a second dog, and then they get a fucking cat, and you kind of hope one of the dogs kill the cats because they just have too much. And I'm just sitting here eating SpaghettiOs out of a can. And, like, I have money. I'm just eating them because I'm punishing myself for life choices. And I'm going, wow, I really have nothing. And those people who have a wife and kids and addiction to Oxycontin are like, I have nothing. And they're watching our clips and be like, I wish I could do what you do one day, man. You know, it's like
totally.
I don't know if there was a point to that, but it's just kind of what's been going on in my head lately.
It's really funny you bring that up because I have been voice noting with one of my good friends from high school.
Voice noting?
Yeah.
Is that just in parlance now? Like, I've been voice noting. What happened to calls?
I don't know.
Gee, I tell you, what happened to calls? I tell you, I used to pick up the phone. They'd go, hey, how you doing? No, I send them a voice note. They send one back. Like, I'm talking through a tin can over here. No respect, I tell you. I get no respect. Oh, no respect. I went to go text the other day. I said, what the hell am I doing reading for? Send me a voice note. Oh, pretty soon one day you're just going to fart into the phone. They'll send it back. They'll say 7:30, but I'll make it there on time. Oh, no respect.
I don't know. Honestly, that's such a good point because our voice notes have been 10 minutes each.
So you're going boop, send it, and then they're going. That's my bestie.
It's like a live podcast.
This is a live podcast.
Right now, not for the people listening.
All right. Well, if you're listening, send a few voice notes to your friends today. Let them know
Honestly,
that you don't care enough to type out a text.
Well, okay, and the point of this story was, it is actually really funny. I don't know why we do it, but I've been doing it with a lot of people lately. It's so much easier than texting. But we'll send like 10 minutes and then you have to like play a game of concentration to remember everything that was said and then align your voice note to then fit in with everything that, like, all the topics that were hit. But she's a mom. The point I'm putting, you're
having a hard time keeping up with your own voice note.
I'm so hungover, I can't think.
The point is,
the point I'm making though, because you said everything that you just said about how we have nothing, but said. Everyone looks at us and thinks we have something.
Yes.
So she's has a kid and she's pregnant, and I am,
not pregnant. Don't have a kid.
I have nothing.
Barely getting cream pied.
Barely, and like, she's always laughing about what I have and telling me, oh, that's so glamorous, that's so fun. Like, I can't believe you're, like, out at these parties and at these clubs and drinking scotch until late in the night. And then here I am. She's like, last night while you were, sipping scotch at a club, I
put scotch in my baby's bottle.
She was like, I was at hibachi. And I was like, honestly, that sounds kind of lit. And she's like, and then I came home and ate cake over my sink. And then I went to bed. And I'm like, I mean, that's great. But it's just funny the way we've been doing that same compare game of like, oh, she's hearing my life. Like, oh, it's so like party movie, like lifestyle. And I'm like, I'm a loser who blacked out at 31 years old. And I have nothing going on in my life. But she sees it as like, your life's a movie. You're so crazy. And I'm like, all right. So
sometimes that movie is This Is the End.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, brother. You'll get it. I mean, the thing that I've always said about Torey is she knows how to get back up.
Thank you. I'm like one of those like things at a car sale,
Well, they never fall down.
Well, when the air goes out of them, and then I'm always a little like off.
Yeah.
But I'm up. And then they turn them off.
That's an apropos description. Always a little bit off. I like that.
This is me.
Yeah. It's also how she gives hand jobs.
I haven't told that joke in a while.
Because touring, and I pretty much get to do everything in my life that I want to do now, professionally and personally. And it's really easy to get burnt out when you're feeling that, because a lot of what you're doing, or at least where I'm coming from, I'm so used to doing the work and having a long journey ahead. And a lot of the stuff I still do will still have a long journey, but then like the thing happens and I'm like, why am I not excited about this? Because that'll be the end. Happiness and motivation,
right.
Whole filling seems to be having something to look forward to.
Totally. Whole filling.
Whole filling.
Whole filling.
There's donut holes and there's donut plugs. Which one are you going to be?
I'd like to be a plug.
Whose hole are you going to fill? Would you like to find a plug for your donut hole?
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking for a plug.
Looking for a plug. Looking for plugs in all the wrong places.
Hole filling. That word is really messing with me.
I could tell. It's hitting the holes in your brain.
I'm like, is there a word that...
hole filling.
Is there a word that is similar to, that's a real world? Real...
That's a real world? Is there a word that's similar to this? That's a real world? Geppetto's a lying bastard. Are you wearing women's underwear? I most certainly am not.
I'm a hopeful hole filler.
Oh, man. I was too till you said that. I'm going to have to take that plug right the fuck out.
You're so right, though. No, I've actually heard a lot of people talk about getting these big things, and then as soon as it's over, they're like even more sad than before. So.
I also think the key to just surviving is understanding that most of your days are going to be suffering.
Yeah, suffering
and embracing the suck.
What's the word? Happiness?
No. No, it's quite the opposite.
I think it leads to happiness in the end.
How so?
Because then it's like for example, if like bad things happen, there's actually an expert that I saw on TikTok.
Oh boy, here we go. Was her name Charlie D'Amelio?
No, he teaches a class on happiness at a college, and he said that whenever...
What a scam.
I mean, this is legit though. He said that to his students, whenever something bad happens to you, I want you to write it down and then leave 2 lines below it. And the second line you write down a month later, you write what you or how you feel now. And then 3 months later, you write down what you learned from the bad thing that happened.
Do you think that works for the kids in Gaza? They're like, write it down. Step 1, find a piece of paper. Step 2, be alive a month later.
That's really fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. Happiness classes are scams.
Maybe it's a white privilege situation, but...
Happiness is white privilege.
Okay.
Class privilege if you don't want to make it racial.
Sure.
There's a lot of miserable white trash out there, too. Most of them my cousins.
Yeah, anyways, that point of me saying that is that anything bad that happens in life, typically something... Oftentimes, again, this is not always the case, but good things will come of it where you learned a lesson or you got a new perspective and something like, for example, like someone like that, like, let's say they lost a limb. Then they get famous on TikTok and they make people feel better that don't have limbs.
That makes up for not having a left arm.
Or they become a motivational speaker and they're like, look at me, I can do anything.
Except wave both hands in the air.
Yeah. Anyways, that's that.
I also think it's possible to find happiness without seeing what other people don't have.
Yeah.
I've tried to remind my brain that, as she just gurgled into the microphone.
Sorry.
Tummy don't have food. I'm Solo and the Wookiee. I always feel like when you're looking for happiness, the first thing we do is look at what someone else doesn't have, and you go, "Oh, at least I'm not that guy."
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to train my brain that calm doesn't mean bored, and oftentimes boredom is like the epitome of like anytime. I was sitting around the house today. I cleaned, I did laundry, I edited, I did all this stuff, and then I was just like, I went to the gym. I was just pacing around the house, being like, I'm so fucking bored. What do I have to do? And I was like, oh, I'm not bored. I'm happy, but. It's like after you finish the video game where Plankton's stealing the Krabby Patty formula. I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far. Like I'd be like, oh, this is enjoy the benefits of you doing so many things this weekend where you can have a few moments to be like, oh, I don't have to do anything until Torey gets here.
Totally. I've been like that too. I mean, this morning I just laid in bed all like hungover and I watched the Gabby Petito documentary.
That'll cheer you up.
That was sad.
What are your thoughts on that? Wow.
Sorry, I was trying to gather them. I think it's just really wild. It's a really, really wild story. And we'll never know really what happened. Obviously, he killed her, but it's just so crazy. He must have really snapped because it's like if you're whistling.
He was snapping that whole documentary.
Yeah, but that's a big snap.
Did you watch the American Murder one with Chris Watts and his wife where he killed his wife and his 2 kids and stuffed them in an oil drum?
No.
There seems to be this thing where like, you gotta look at like, I don't know the nice way to say it. Let's call them musty dudes who end up getting married outside of their league, or at least to be able to just touch a woman is such a privilege when you're any kind of dude. You should be just kissing the feet all the time. And Chris Watts and Brian Laundrie, one of the same, where we're like 6 dudes on a scale of 1 to 10, kind of married up, and both of their respective partners were really into the phones, meaning documenting whatever was happening, trying to turn it. Chris Watts' wife, Shanann, I think, was just putting it all on Facebook because she had kids and a husband, and she thought this happily ever after, white picket fence. And Brian Laundrie just sort of hitched along and Gabby went along for the ride. And when that happens, you sort of expect to be that person's whole world. And when they have something beyond that, like Gabby wanted to be a vlogger and had all these ambitions, and she was saddled up next to a dude who looked like fucking penis. Yeah, penis, had a baby with one of the turtles from the Mario games. He didn't snap. He slowly murdered her by being the means to an end. Like the van was his, or the van was hers, but he was holding on to it, even like through the text. Like at the end, he said when it was him texting.
Yeah, that was so
parents,
creepy.
you know, like
when texting himself from her phone.
Yeah, well, I mean, that just my point of it being like they put everything they could. Brian put everything he could into Gabby and was like, "That's my woman now. She'll do whatever she wants to." But she had ambitions to go be her own thing.
Yeah.
And I where he could have ran toward her and made like this van vlog a lifestyle thing for the two of them, he just snapped and took her out of the equation and completely robbed her of living a life that would have been full of purpose and everything. And Chris Watts did it because he found a girlfriend and he figured the best way to be with her was to snuff out his entire family. And there is just way too many cases of 0 to 100 with these guys, and everybody thinks it just happens in snaps, but like nobody's paying attention to what and that's why I liked the documentary on Petito, and I liked the one on Chris Watts. I didn't like the subject matter. I liked that there was so much on video that you could slowly watch it unravel over time.
That was fascinating, but it also made me really sad about her life. It seemed like she was only living to put it online. Like, it never seemed like she was actually happy in real life. And she lived this whole lifestyle simply to put it online, it seemed like.
No different than what we're doing.
I don't know. I don't think that's that.
What's the difference, would you say?
It seemed like she did all of the traveling and just everywhere she was, like when she was like in a hot spring, she was just filming herself and like frustrated. And I'm like, I don't know what it was like for her in the real experience, but it just seemed like she never had a minute to just look around and be like, this is great.
That's emblematic of the generation. You think like you walk around New York, how many people, young people her age, people our age who are coming here and they're just living in the moment. They're in line at Katz's and they're not doing anything and they're not on their phones, or they're walking through Times Square and they're not on their phones. Like everybody's recording and putting their videos in a camera roll, never to be looked at again, or because they want to be a influencer or a lifestyle vlogger or whatever the fuck. Like, and it's sad because she looked like she was in the infancy of what could have been something that she was very passionate about. I think that there's a market out there for what she wanted to do, and what bothers me the most is he took the easy way out, and also his parents knew the whole step of the way what they were doing. That letter that they wrote, that his mom wrote to Brian.
Oh my God, it's all gross. What's also sad though is that we all watched that. Haven't seen it, but at the end of the documentary, when it says that when she posted the video, it got 500 views, and now it's at 7 million views.
I remember when she disappeared a few years ago. I was watching that story happen live on TikTok, like day by day for like a good, I want to say like month. And I remember that vlog video being up there and the millions being ranked in after that. And it's eerie. It's sad. That's the space heater. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's so typical. I feel like our culture is so obsessed with death and someone dying, and that we all glom onto these things when like a beautiful person dies. It's like suddenly then, I don't know. It's just interesting. The way they told the story too at the end when they're talking about how she was now dead, and they were showing all the baby photos, and I'm like, we are really twisting the knife on this sob story.
That didn't bother me, but you know what bothered me was them using AI for her journal entries.
Oh, for her voice?
That was really fucking wrong, in my opinion, and Netflix shouldn't have ever done that. AI, to me, is very unplaya. You can't use AI. As soon as I see you use AI, then you and I, we're not friends anymore, because why are we letting the robots paint shit? Like, I would rather take a crudely drawn picture that took you 12 hours to do rather than source it out to some robot who should be working in the mines when we should be the ones making art. I hate AI in every aspect that exists, really? Especially in stories like this where it should be about the victim. And I guess they were still trying to highlight that, but like they could have just showed her journal entries and done a narration over it. Yeah. Just bothers me, because then it's like you're never dead, and especially in this business, you're just going to be used forever. They just, a month ago, they said they found a whole bunch of unreleased Michael Jackson songs in a storage unit. No, the fuck they did not. They just AI'd a bunch of them.
That's fucked
Give it
up.
6 months.
I have a friend that made an entire album out of AI.
Well, he should be shot. I hope he's listening to this.
It's a she.
Doubly so.
Okay.
Why did she do that?
Because you could.
How do you make an album out of AI? You just type it in the chat
lyrics and then I don't know. I don't know how she did it.
That sounds very boring to me.
It's really good.
Point exactly taken.
Scary. Okay. Anyways, should we listen to these questions?
We couldn't wait to get out of that one.
No, I just, my brain isn't working very hard, and I want someone to ask me a question.
All right, yeah, we'll dictate it to you. When are you coming back to Texas, or do I have to book you myself?
Oh,
I will be in Texas, Plano, Texas, right outside of Dallas in September. I'm hoping to go back out to San Antonio, Austin sometime soon. I love Texas. Texas is one of my favorite places to do comedy. Texas and Florida. I really love those audiences, and I'll be back out to St. Pete soon. We had to cancel the gigs this weekend. or they pushed it back because of some venue code or whatever. But I love Texas. I love getting out there. The last time I was out there was, I think, Houston? No, I did Austin in the summer before that. I was in Houston in June, and boy, was it hot.
Yeah.
I went with my dad and Slater, and we were staying in this hotel room, experienced the racism. My dad was in the pool, the black one, and he was swimming, and he gets out of the pool, and then this white woman who had like been sitting in the, what is it, sitting at the pool the whole time, waited for my dad to get out of the pool to get in.
No.
And then we tested. I was like, Dad, get back in. I want to see what happens. He gets in, she gets out.
No way.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
wild.
Things are really different in Texas.
Damn.
Yeah, it was, but it was a good weekend. I saw Bad Boys. It was hot. Like fucking hot. Like Houston was hot.
I remember that when we were in Austin in August.
Oh, Austin was
Hot.
when we did the Vulcan
I went
in
to go get
2023?
like lunch, and I walked 2 blocks, and I like went inside. I was like,
I know, and Tori does this thing where she gets restless in hotel rooms when we're on the road, and she hates being in there, and she's like, I just gotta get out of here. I gotta go walk. And I was like, good luck, my G. And she was back soon. Yep. I don't even know where she goes when she does it. It's like those dogs who just go out all day and then they come home like, where were you all day, sir? Like, she'll do it anywhere. We were in Atlanta, and she ended up at a coffee shop that was worked with by exclusively mentally disabled people. Remember that? The coffee shop? Yeah. You're like, it took a really long time to get my coffee. And I was like, context clues, Tor. Context clues.
It really did.
If you guys had to make a trailer for your set, which one of your bits would you want to put in it? You can answer that one first.
I like my scissor joke.
How's that one go?
I talk about the guy that can't get it up, and then I'm like, should we just scissor?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
It's a good hit.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah. Maybe my drinking stuff feels topical right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Topical or...
What about you?
My blackface. Who can take a sunrise? Jazz hands. Is there anything in life right now you wish was different, good or bad?
I wish I could drink alcohol without blacking out.
Why do you wish that?
I don't think blacking out is okay. I think no one should ever do it. I think it's so scary, and I think you should never have more than 3 drinks.
Happy Black History Month from Torey Cole.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Never more than 3 drinks. That's your...
You don't need more than 3. There's nothing good happens after the 3rd. Nothing good.
Well, I wouldn't be here.
That's funny. I bet a lot of people do meet and have kids off drinking. So I don't know. Maybe it is a good thing in some ways, but I don't know. That's something I wish was different.
A good thing. My life is suffering.
What about you?
That was bad. What's one thing you wish that was different? Well, I guess that doesn't make sense. One thing you wish that was different, good or bad? Things are going pretty good. I wish it wasn't. One thing in my life right now that I wish was different. I don't know. I don't make wishes like that, really. If I see something in my life that I wish was different, I just
change it.
I start to, or I put the work in ahead to make it happen. I start off by being really miserable and grumpy about that thing and talking to everybody in my life about it, and not like they'll be able to offer a solution. And then I'll let everyone know I'm miserable, and in like a month's time, I'll have done something about it.
Okay.
You saw me in my last relationship.
Process.
It took me like 6 months to get out of that.
Yeah. It's definitely a journey.
And then, like all journeys, it ends. Fade to black. What is... Come to Melbourne, Australia, please. I would love to. I'm trying to go to Thailand in April.
Fun.
Not for shows. I just want to go on vacation. I saw how cheap it was, and I was like, I want to fucking go to Thailand, dog.
I'd be scared for you in Thailand.
Why?
I have a friend in Bangkok I would set you up with. Like a dude.
Can you rephrase that again?
Sorry, I would hook it up by... he's a good tour guide. You know what I mean? Like, when you say I'll set you up, it means like you'll like show them the way.
Yeah, I got a friend out in Bangkok that I'm going to set you up with. He'll give you a real good tour, Big T.
I didn't mean it
Bangkok!
like that.
Yeah, no, it just came out that way and sounded like that. And you said the city, Bangkok. If Troy was Torey for a day, what would he do and vice versa?
Stop.
So if I were you for a day, what would I do? I would go on stage so you'd finally have a good set.
Thanks. Would you do blackface too?
No, if I was you for a day, well, there's a lot of things. first of all, I'm in a woman's body,
Right.
right?
You
Okay.
would be, yeah.
All right. I just want to make, you never know. So I would want to experience that.
Okay.
Probably try to get spit in the face as soon as I could.
Smart. Just walk outside.
I'd rob a bank so we can get rid of some of your credit card debt.
Thank you.
What else would I do? If I was in your body for a whole day, if it was a work day, I'd wake up.
Oh man, you'd get fired.
How?
I
can't do any.
Like, what's up, dickheads? I just figured.
I've worked in an office before.
Okay.
Granted, I was in a gorilla suit the whole time, but I was in an office, the world's most famous one, might I add, Empire State Building. Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to think, like, what would be the advantages of being you for a day, and how would I want to make it better? I guess I would just want to know what it was like to be a white woman for a day, because I've heard it's privilege, and I've also heard it's pretty predatory.
Yeah, don't go outside at night. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's one thing I would miss are my 3 a.m. jogs.
Keep your ankles covered.
Why don't you start? What would you do as me for a day?
I'd like to just walk around. I like when people are like, "Are you Troy Bond?" So I'd like to experience that.
Doesn't happen that often.
It happens a decent amount. I'd like
usually
to do a
people
show.
trying to serve me papers. Are you Troy Bond? See you in court.
I guess last time I said I would want to do a show as you'd be like, well, then it wouldn't be funny. I guess that'd be really hard too. So
I think I could do your set.
You could. Yeah. I don't think I could do your set. So I was fucking a hole in the wall.
Hole filler.
Hole filler.
And I didn't fuck a hole in the wall. I peed in a hole in the wall, and I fucked my brother's race car bed.
Sorry, you're right. Classic mix-up. Yeah, I think it would be nice to, like, engage with people, and the way that you connect with people is really cool, and they get so excited to see you. So I'd probably post online a bunch, make a bunch of really weird live stories, go live, and then wander, just skip the streets and be like, I'm Troy Bond.
Don't do that in my body, please.
Yeah, and then I would eat a lot. Like you can put back food, but you look good, so it's like doesn't matter.
I'm trying to.
Don't eat in my body.
I'm gonna eat like Marlon Wayans and white chicks at the table. I'm just gonna be throwing. You're gonna wake up covered in rib sauce, mayonnaise, horseradish is gonna be in between your ass somewhere. Your pillow is just gonna be filled with chicken nuggets. Not even a pillow in the case anymore. Yeah, I would.
That's funny.
I think I would hope to get your body when you were going through a menstrual cycle, because I'd want to know what that feels like.
It's gross.
I've heard.
You would be upset.
I'm upset knowing about it.
Men can't handle blood in general, but like seeing it in like a toilet setting, that would be.
Oh, I'm good with that.
I was gonna say you're a natural with that.
Yeah.
Placenta slurpee machine guy over here.
That's another one of my bits.
I could do that on stage.
Yeah.
I'd be good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a lesbian.
That's what I would say in your body, too. I'm a lesbian. Nothing else is working. I'm going to do that voice, too. I hope I have my regular voice, so I have to put on a voice. I'm Torey. What's wrong, Torey? I got struck by lightning.
Okay.
Dentist told me if I went up another shade, I was going to attract lightning. Oh, God. What is the best SpongeBob episode? Or are all of them awesome?
Ooh, we watched the one together, the bad breath one. I think that's a top.
That's a good one. I think about that.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
That's good.
SpongeBob, you gotta get this thing off your chest. Most SpongeBob episodes, I guess, like a lot of kids' TV was like this growing up, but all of them apply to your adult life now. Yeah. When you look back at it, I always, I liked. It's so crazy. Like, just pick one, but I guess the one that always sticks out to me is the Bubble Buddy one.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know why. It wasn't a lot of people's favorites, but I always liked that one. And I always liked the Balloon Day one where they stole a balloon on Free Balloon Day.
Yeah.
That was always emblematic of like overthinking for me. And I love the movie. The first movie. I remember going to see that in theaters. That SpongeBob is just one of those, whenever we're on the road and it's on hotel TV, no matter what season it is, we'll watch it.
Yeah.
The Patrick Show is really good. And I got to get like the first 3 seasons on DVD because it really just was the best show. It was very special. Are bitches a necessity? We'll turn to Torey.
I like dogs.
And we're back.
What does that even mean?
A bitch is a necessity. Does it help if I ask in Cat Williams' voice?
Maybe.
A bitch is a necessity,
a
or are
more-
they a luxury you can afford after you pay your light bill?
I thought you
Do not
answered
go
that
out
one.
with bitches until you have paid your Con Edison.
Yeah, I'll answer it from my way. I don't think it is value to be mean, so don't be mean.
I think he meant like is having hoes necessary.
Nah, you gotta be happy alone first.
True. You can't expect to get happiness out of someone
Yes.
else in a relationship. You have to walk into it. My happiness is my happiness. Your happiness is yours.
Exactly.
You come into it and you can develop joint happiness together. And
Yes.
that's a beautiful thing. But when one person's putting on the other, then you just become the sole source of that. And then when you're taken away, that's where clinginess and attachment and jealousy all stem from. I think love is necessary.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
been, I've learned as I get older, the number one inspiring factor for me. Like anything I want to do in life, I do better when I am in love, because you have something to aspire to want to be. You want to be a better person for whoever it is that you're partnered with. You get to share more of your life with that person. I'm somebody who shares a lot with my friends and family, but finding a partner and having that with makes you maybe it's just because I'm getting older and I can find myself in those situations now. But like when I was younger, it was more or less like, oh, I have to have this. I mean, like more head over heels in people who didn't have the same feeling for me, because I just thought this is how I deserve to have it. And then when it'd be the other way around, I'm just like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. What are you going to do about it? And I think you just get, when it's right, it's right. You want to hold on to it, and it makes you readjust everything you're doing in your life and figure out what motivation you have for it.
It's a mirror, definitely, too.
Yeah. So I would say it's a necessity in that regard, but it's also not something, if you don't have it, you should feel bad about for not having, because if you seek it, it won't come to you the way it should, or maybe it will, who knows? But like it's a comparison is the thief of joy thing. Like, don't look at someone else's relationship and go, man, I wish I had that, because there's such a unique esoteric dynamic between those two people, whoever it is, that you're gonna feel shitty for not having it, when really we're all fucking weird.
Yeah, we are.
We all put our
we
fingers in weird places, and we're these flesh bags on a spinning rock that these giant dinosaurs used to stomp on, and we're just shitting in water holes and punching in, punching out, shaking hands, blowing snot into pieces of paper, and hoping that one day we can rub our genitals up against someone else's and create more people to be tortured in this rat race we called life. So, the necessity in that is maybe not being alone while you're doing it.
That's beautiful.
Have someone clean up your cum once in a while.
It's beautiful.
That's my thought process on it. How was my time in Canada? I love Canada.
Really?
And I not to like be cliche about it, because everyone talks about it now, but like I would move to Canada. How do I let these bastards know I'm not the one to keep playing games with? Carry a loaded gun with you at all times, and then another gun with blanks, and then just fire each one at random, and people stop fucking with you after a while. Oh my God, I just got a message. This is crazy. People just be messaging me shit sometimes in the middle of the conversation, and we've never talked before. Someone just messaged me, I'm so drunk, but it's okay. And now they've seen I've read it, and they're writing another one. I'm not even kidding. I'm so drunk, but it's okay. I worked third shift and first back to back, and now I'm wine drunk and I need sleep. And you need some punctuation too, baby. But I'm watching Silo on Apple TV. It's so addicting. It's like the best show right now, and I'm drunk. You hadn't mentioned that. And bored, and I unblocked you, didn't even know I was blocked, to text you, and I'll probably regret tomorrow, and you won't see it anyway, so watching it doesn't matter.
Who is this?
I don't know. I'm going to write back, not much. How about you? That was crazy.
Oh, that's wild. At least I'm not the only one making bad junk choices.
Yeah, look at that and go, not like her, not like Taylor. That was the person's name.
Oh, good.
Wow, I'm surprised you responded. Well, enjoy that surprise, because you won't be getting another one. Will Torey be at the March 21st show? Yes, she will be.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
How are you spending $5,000 to $6,000 that the Department of Government Efficiency will be giving us back? All right. If you think Elon Musk is going to take all the money that he is allegedly scooping out of the government for waste and giving that money in the form of you back to a check for $5,000 to $6,000, then I suggest that you start spending all the money you have right now, because that money's just going to come anyway, right? In a few months, so just take it, just spend it, have a good time. If there's one thing I know about billionaires, it's that they stay true to their promises, and they love giving money to other people, especially the poorest who buy blue check marks on Twitter. So please, please bank on that $5,000 Elon Musk is giving you. Please. I want you to bank it so bad. I want you to tell your mom you're going to buy her a new car with that check. And then when he doesn't send it to you, she's going to fucking disown you like she should have when you started quoting Elon Musk. She gave up Chardonnay for 9 months just for you to be a dork. Why don't you like go out, get a job, maybe save up for a couple of months, maybe you can get that $5,000 or $6,000 and you could buy a gun and shoot yourself. That's my theory. But if I do get that $5,000, I'm going to donate it all to AOC. Favorite Robin and least favorite why? Well, that's a question for secret identity, my friend. Are aliens taking over? They're already here, my brother. And you asked a question about Elon Musk, so there's your first alien right there. That's why he's trying to go back to Mars, because they deported his ass, and he's trying to go back with a whole bunch of American artillery. Would you consider doing a joint tour in Europe? I was in Europe last year. I'm trying to get out there again.
A joint tour?
Like where I bring you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that, but I would go back out there. Do you guys queef / penis whistle? I don't queef, nor have I penis whistled. Tori?
I've queefed.
Be crazy if you penis whistled. What's your favorite current song right now?
Oh, there's a song called "Happy Alone" that brings me a lot of joy. It's by
That was an oxymoron.
It's so good. Happy Alone. You gotta listen. I gotta start my weekly obsessions that I copied off of you. "Happy Alone" by Soul Legend. Want to hear how it starts?
No, because I don't want to get copyright striked.
Oh, smart.
Just sing it.
You're smart. No, I'll just post it on my story tomorrow. I was watching Adam Glenn, his videos on TikTok, and he asked Kim Kardashian what her yearbook quote was. So I went and grabbed my yearbook because I was home, and my yearbook quote, want to guess something like what it was?
I got a pocket full of sunshine.
Similar. It was live like you'll die tomorrow, dream like you'll live forever.
Dance like nobody's watching. I like how you were teeing that up like I didn't know that quote, as if I've never used a bathroom.
So dumb.
Wait,
was there one more question?
No.
I thought you were about to ask one.
No, I didn't want to ask it out loud. Some of them are really horny, and
Can I look at them?
Sure. I think you're gonna have the same filtration process I did. But I'd love to hear which ones you cherry pick out.
Craziest fan experience. Troy, is it pink? What does that
That's the one I didn't want you to read out loud.
What does that even mean?
Read it again?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Troy, how are you, sweetie? Oh, Maya, my girly. I'm good. How are you?
See, she can't answer that. That's why I skipped past that.
Okay, yeah, you did a great job. I'm having the same experience that you had. Okay, cool. This is fun. Thank you.
Tune in next week to find out if it's pink. I've been Troy Bond.
And I'm Torey Cole.
And we're both pink.
Thanks for your time.